Alright, so let's continue where we left off last time. We're going to game mode and we're going to name a few of this custom events differently. We have dropped, which is actually when killer hits floor, so name it killer hits floor so it's easy to recognize. Also there is check hit, which is when killer hits player, so let's name it killer hits player. Compile and save. Now we need to make sure that we are calling the same names, so killer hit floor, we can make sure killer hits floor. Okay, and the other one is in BP killer. Here killer hits player, so let's call it again also killer hits player. Compile, save, and let's test it. Okay, so it's working fine. Oh no, game over. Okay, check color, game mode, check color. So where is this giving a problem? Killer hits player is fine, and killer hits floor is fine as well. Oh, okay, here we didn't pass the value, so let's pass killer. Compile and save. Okay, so next what we are gonna do is we are gonna work on the VFX part. So in assets, VFX, and we are gonna create Niagara system and Niagara emitter. So if you're not using the latest version, that is 4.25.4, you might have to manually go into plugins and FX and turn this Niagara effect systems on, and it'll ask you to restart once, and then you will be able to get access to FX Niagara emitter. So let's tap new emitter from template. Next we're going to select a directional burst, since it's going to be a spray of direction in one axis, and we're going to name it NE_splash. We'll double click it to change the values. So in spawn count we're going to have something like 10. We don't need to, whenever you make changes you can see it update here in the viewport. Next we are going to have minimum value lifespan 1. Color we can leave it to default. Now sprite size we need them a bit larger, so we can say 30. Next we don't need this part, calculate size and rotation. Now here we need a larger value, so we can have it 1000 to 1500. And for axis we don't need it in x-axis, we need one in z-axis. Next for gravity force we can give it a bit more value so they go down faster. Set color scale we don't need, and sprite size by velocity also we don't need. Now one last setting we need to do is, right now you can see the particles are oddly shaped because velocity aligned, so we can change that to unaligned, and now they'll be spherical in shape. So save and we close it. Now Niagara, if emitters don't work on their own, you need a system for that, so you can right click, create Niagara system, and let's name it as NS_splash. Now we can go in this one, and there's just one setting we need to do. We can make this color value to be user defined, so we can access it by code. So we go in make and read from user parameter, so it will spawn in here user, and it's called color, so we can save it. Now let's go into game mode, and we can create function here, add custom event, we will call it get splashes or get splash. Now what it does is spawn Niagara, this one, spawn system at location. So we need two things for this to work. We'll need a location where we want to spawn the splash, location, which will be of type vector since it has x, y and z, and color, and by now you know it's going to be type, yeah, you guessed it, linear color. Alright, so location goes into location, and from return value we are gonna set color, this one, set Niagara variable linear color, and for the variable name we know it's color, so that's that, and this color will plug into in value. So we can comment this now, get splash at location, and we can turn the color to green. So now we got the function ready, we got the systems ready, now we just need to call it. So we will be calling it in hit player. So we can have it before check color itself, get splash. So for location, when we need to get the player location, so get player, get actor location. Now we can split this location and this vector, so we can plug x and y to their respective, and z we're gonna have it higher a bit so it's over the player's head, so we'll add the value by float plus float 50. It's not in color, it goes into location z, and for color we can get from color, so get color and plug this in. So that's for when killer hits player. Now for killer hits floor, it's going to be pretty standard, get splash. For location it will be from killer, will get killer mesh, get world location, and we can directly plug into location, and we already have this color variable coming from here, so we can plug this in here, compile and save. So now when we test this, we should get splashes. Alright, why aren't there splashes coming? Access right and system spawn set. So let's go. Okay, spawn system, but we didn't specify which system, so compile, save, and now we should see some splashes, and those splashes are reflecting the color. Now one more thing we can do before we end this video. Right now the particles seem to be a bit lost, like too light in color, so we can go into material, no, in fact VFX, splash, and for the alpha value we can increase it to say around 5, so they are more apparent. And now let's test them, so they should be more visible now. Alright, so that's it for this video. In next video we'll do a HUD, which is the heads up display, and we'll be close to wrapping this course. See you there.